everybody. My name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, and it's Mwenyenchi Monday. It's always such a mouthful. As you can see, I have some amazing guests here. I'm going to introduce them to you, or allow them to introduce themselves in a few minutes. But today we want to talk about men taking their place. So we're talking about something called MID, men impacting differently. And all these are issues surrounding governance. But I'll first let you meet my guests. So maybe George, I'll start with you. You can just tell our viewers what you would like them to know about you. You can share as much as you want or as little as you want.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Pastor Angie, for this opportunity to come and share. My name is George Thara. The most important thing about me is that I'm saved. God is my savior. I'm married to a beautiful Winnie Thara. Yeah. And I'm in the world of finance.
Awesome. Maxi?
My name is Maxi. I've been here before as a guest
yes.
to Pastor Angie on Just Angie. Yeah. People know me as Oidera's husband. She's the one who's more famous.
She's the famous one.
Yes, I am a man who loves Jesus, but I also love young people, work with young people, resource them for next generation kind of impactful things that are taking over Africa.
Awesome. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Doers.
As you heard, the name is Doers, just Doers. I'm a creative by nature. I just love tinkering with things. Most importantly, I'm married. Before that, I'm saved also. I'm married to one woman, Carol Mwoki, lovely lady, and father to two lovely girls. Yeah, that's basically it, long and short.
All right, but you're a serious creative. So these are my guests, and today we want to talk about MID. Yeah? So MID stands for Men Impacting Differently. Maybe just the genesis, we're flowing through the different themes, and even why we started MID.
Okay, so reason why we started MID was we saw the men out there are struggling. Many are losing their way. Many people there's almost like a lack of focus. So it was about time we brought men together. So there are not very many forums where men can come together. Yeah. So that's the whole purpose behind MID. But also apart from just having a forum for men to just sit and chat, we were like, what else have men done differently out there? Have they impacted society? Yes, they have. Who are they? So that was the next step for MID, was basically looking for men who have done differently in society, impacted positively to things out there. And then we're not also looking for those common people.
Those guys are always celebrated.
Yeah, so we're looking for those guys, you know, that chini person who does something that is unique and that's really helped society. That's also the purpose behind MID. And yeah, just in a nutshell, it's an event for men, by men, to celebrate men out there who are doing things differently.
Okay. And I think it's a forum as well. And I think two things that you said as we engage in conversation is, number one, I think sometimes when I think about fatherhood issues, it's that fatherhood has not been modeled. So it's a forum where at least we can model how to be, how to model to men how to be fathers and how to take up the different roles that they have in society. Because I know that Pastor Simon Bevy started the program called Mother of Sons because it's different to parent a son rather than a daughter. There are differences and dynamics that are there. And then I'm always saying that, you know, sometimes it wasn't modeled or they didn't know. Or so, you know, you just try to find your way, you know, try to figure it out. So I think that's another reason for starting MID.
And I mean, the experiences that have happened over the last couple of MIDs is that I think the earlier ones had mature men, so to speak. It had grown folk. But as we've continued, we've seen that the grown folk are also doing exactly that, you know, modeling what being a man, living your life to a particular degree and a particular age looks like. And increasingly lately, over the last couple of years, the MIDs that have been there have had quite a number of younger people under 25 attending and really being startled at what life is as a man. And that is exactly, I think, one of the main outcomes of what MID has been. That these young men who come engage with men impacting differently, engage with some of the panelists, some of the awardees, and feel the impact that these men have caused in their life and how that has been like, and seek to model after that, you know, have real life examples, which is far off and not the case out there in the world. Yeah, so it is, and then the women in most of the men's lives are also equally really happy often, you know, to see that their men are in the company of other men, having conversation about just what being a man is, what the challenges of manhood is, and just engaging deeply in matters that would they would otherwise not have had a chance to. So it is it's a huge solution for today's man and tomorrow's man as well.
And even as you say that, I think there was a mixture of both, which I liked as well. That there were older men, there were middle-aged men, I guess we can say, and then there was the youth. So that's beautiful, because even the Bible says that we're supposed to minister, we're supposed to teach each other, you know. And I think there's nothing as more powerful as having it modeled, being able to see it, you know, being able to see, to touch, to hear. These are the things that they have done. And I think I don't know which point you want to come in, George, but also I love the fact that we celebrate. I think even celebrating them gives them, you know, sort of like an anchor. That's what I feel like. You have an anchor, then you feel like your life is not, it just hasn't been a waste, you know. For some reason, I guess it's men or humanity, they want to feel like they've done something. So when we celebrate them, and we celebrate something that maybe nobody else has celebrated, then they really feel touched. But I don't know what you want to say, George.
And that's a key thing. A lot of the awardees said, you know, this was the first time someone had seen what they're doing. And that's such a critical part, because sometimes people, they say, does anyone notice me? Does anyone notice what I'm doing? And that's why, you know, and the key part, why I like the last one we did this year was that there was the panel. And that's something we hadn't had before, where a lot of the men who have been honored came and explained, you know, to talk about what they're going through, what they've experienced, and to give that exposure to men. Because a lot of men, we've never had that kind of exposure. If it would have been our fathers and an older brother or an uncle, that's all we had seen. But when you had these men speak on this panel about life issues that we are going through at the different ages, that exposure and just seeing this man speak that way.
I think for me also the thing that I loved even about the panels is first when the women went away, so that's very important for you to note. It is actually men impacting differently. I think we use the women to bring the men, you know where men have to be coerced into attendance. So they come and then we separate. We leave the men and the women go and have their own forum. And that's, I think, something that's very, very important. I loved the topic of the first panel. What was it again? Remind me.
Oh yes, the first panel was coming back from
rising,
falling,
and rising again.
And that was amazing, because sometimes when we fall, we remain down. We don't rise up. So I think that was very encouraging for me, even for the women, because we used the subject of your panel, which Mutua, is it Mutua created? You know, Mutua creates theses. You wonder, is this a panel topic or a thesis? Anyway, he created a thesis, but he was very impactful, because even for the women, it was impactful, because people like to know, how do I rise from something that has brought me down, and how do I get out of it? So I think the stories must have been very impactful for the men, because for the women, they were just mind-blowing.
And also, just to add to that point, is the reason behind MID is we've managed to remove religion from it all, because we are Christian based, we are Bible based, but the beauty is,
you know us, we like to have fun.
Yes, and we like to have fun. So when you walk in there, you won't feel the presence of Christianity, the religion. Let me use religion, because religion is now what really messes things up. But we are still Bible based. At the end of the day, the roots is all Bible based. So we welcome each and everyone to come in, whoever you are. It doesn't matter from which background you are, up, down, it doesn't matter. Just welcome. Then when you come in, you find the nice, homely, family space, safe space.
Safe space, yeah. And then I love the fact that we did the Odi dance. That dance, I don't understand that dance. It's okay, they will explain. But I love the fact that there was that, you know, and there was a battle, you know, with the Odi dance, as guys did the shuffle, you know, and that was good. So there's you wonder, they said, boo, I've not done the shuffle forever, you know. So it was really important. I was like, hey, these men of God, I know they're going to call down fire in 5 seconds, but they were so happy. And you know, you find that it's fun, you know, the music is fun, the songs are fun, the games are fun, the interaction is fun, and it's actually a really safe space. But I love the fact that, you know, guys, religion, no, we can't have religion. We must have fun with our God, because he's a God who is fun, and he's out there for us. What are your closing statements on MID and what you feel like even the day did for you?
So as the evening and then the night approached, just the conversations that were emerging from a lot of people, especially the ones who attended into the night. And one of the things I think we need to mention is that previously we've had MID for a day.
Yes.
This time round we had MID for a day and a night and a day, and the following morning it ended up being a camp, and that the impact of men just being around a bonfire and having a conversation, and the women have left
Long gone.
long gone, and the men are there by themselves, just playing games and eating yama and drinking bottomless soup and just being there all by themselves alone and into conversations that really resonate with them, talking about relationships, talking about, you know, at some point we challenge each other, let's not talk about, this is the one time you have not to talk about your wives. And it still ended up being
they still talked about them.
You know,
it's the power of relationships. Relationships are very, very, very powerful.
Exactly.
And we can't exist without them. But I love that they spoke, because you know, I find that men can go somewhere and not say anything. You know, women can't do that. It's very hard. If I have a problem, it doesn't matter who I meet, as long as there's a semblance of, I know these people, I must spill the beans. But it's amazing that men can come together, have a serious, huge problem, watch a football game, have a beer, and go home with the problem. Why is that?
No, and I think that's, in addition to just that point, which was connected, it was the first time where men was speaking without finding a solution. Because I think that's sometimes why there's a hesitancy.
Because you need a
of just
solution.
speaking is, how do I talk about this? And also the thing of vulnerability. And that was a key thing in this camp. It was a safe environment. We were allowed to speak about those things without feeling shame or despair or anything, because the world for a man is so difficult. Just to be a man, there's so many pressures all around you. But we were allowed to come into this space. We can talk what we're going through around the campfire with the meat, without having to have a solution, without someone saying, this is how you're going to fix it. Getting it off our chest. And people, you know, a lot of things which were being carried for decades, for years, that just came out, and just the release. There was a shift in the atmosphere with that.
Excellent.
Even for the organizer, for me, I'd say, you know, you think you're the organizer, you're above it all, that you're gonna police people and watch and see as they speak.
But
You discover
as well.
that yourself, you're inside. And I actually found myself opening up, and I was like, what? As in, some things came out. You're like, did I really say that? So you're like, Kumba, I really needed this thing more than even this guy's opinion. So it's actually, that's a beauty. Everyone gets impacted, and it's quite cool.
Awesome. So we've run out of time for now, but we're going to come back and have another conversation, which will flow from this conversation, is what are the results? What are we thinking? What do we want MID to actually do and make an impact? And I think with that, I'm going to challenge you as our viewers. Please write in, talk to us, tell us what you'd like to see, what forums you want men to engage in, even the conversations that you want them to have. But we'll be back. God bless you. Say bye. See ya.
Bye.